Hello, today I have an interesting case study for you. This case study is about General Motors, its faulty switches, and Mary Barra. This is an interesting case study because in this case study, we are going to see how Mary Barra's qualitative leadership skills helped General Motors sail through one of its significant crises. On February 5th of 2014, General Motors announced it is calling back about 800,000 of its cars because of faulty ignition switches. These included two models of Chevrolet too. These two models of Chevrolet cars were sportier and less expensive, which mainly attracted young generation of drivers. These faulty switches were switching off the engine while driving, immediately switching off power drive, power brake, and airbag deployment. Since most of these cars were being driven by young generation of drivers, they were unaware of handling or maneuvering a car without power brake and power drive. More tragical was the fact that General Motors management were aware about these faulty switch issues for about a decade, and several accidents and about 124 deaths were linked with this. At the time of this crisis, the management of General Motors appointed Mary Barra as the CEO. Mary Barra was with General Motors since 1980. She started her career with General Motors as an intern and subsequently held various positions at General Motors. Immediately after assuming the role, Mary Barra took a few major steps. She immediately assured federal government that they will completely cooperate with all the investigations and they will also open up their facilities for continuous monitoring by the federal body. They also reserved about $900 million to be paid to victims as compensation as well as to the federal government as fines. This crisis costed General Motors about $4.1 billion, including the cost of recall of the vehicles and replacement of faulty switches. But ultimately, it brought in a new culture in General Motors. Some of the actions that Mary Barra considered, and the results are as follows. Mary Barra brought accountability measures immediately after assuming the role. She identified all the people who were aware of the issue yet did not action or report and dismissed them all. Mary Barra also took actions to recall all the vehicles with faulty switches, which in total turned out to be about 30 million of them. And General Motors successfully replaced all of those faulty switches. Mary Barra also brought a cultural transformation in the business. She brought in safety first approach in the culture and she also promoted diversity in the workplace, which represented the diverse customer base too. General Motors subsequently participated in several sustainability measures. Very recently, as you are aware, General Motors did announce that it is coming out with electric vehicles and soon they will start booking profits with electric vehicle business segment. Changes can be summarized this way. About 50% of all the safety protocols that General Motors were following went through a real overhaul. This is very significant. General Motors agreed to federal government bodies monitor about 30% of its safety processes. They gave significant push to feedback mechanism, which enhanced the employee feedback by about 20%. The ignition switch crisis upheld the values that General Motors and Mary Barra stand for. Transparency and the commitment Mary Barra has shown reinstated the confidence of the investors and the customers in General Motors. And General Motors now continues to grow and flourish in the market. What are the other leadership skills you observe in this case? Please comment below.